Well, 2023 is wrapping up. Today is New Year's Eve, and 2023 is coming to an end. So today I'm just going to reflect on my 2023 and basically just a year in review. So let's go ahead and dive right in. What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon. If you like cruise news, cruise vlogs, and ship tours, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell as we continue our journey to 10,000 subscribers. We are almost there before Icon of the Seas. So, like I said, 2023, it's coming to an end. What a year it's been. It feels like just yesterday was New Year's Eve for 2022. It feels like I blinked and this year was over. It's pretty incredible. But it's been quite an eventful year. Pretty cool. Pretty cool things happened within the industry. These year in review videos, I don't do them every year, but usually when I do, sometimes I go a little bit more on the personal side and then, more focus on cruising though. But so starting out the year, it was really cool. We got to see Norwegian Prima here in Port Canaveral. That was a really cool thing that I really wasn't expecting. Norwegian Cruise Line always puts their new ships in Miami lately or New York City. So the fact that we got Prima here for a few months was pretty nice. We even got to see her at Terminal 3, which is where the Mardi Gras docks. Pretty awesome. Pretty cool to see that at least once or twice that it happened, but mostly docked over at Terminal 5. So that was really cool. And then right in February, we had our cruise on board Freedom of the Seas. Freedom of the Seas is one of my favorite ships of all time, mostly because she is the ship that got me started into cruising. I still remember little Brandon in 2005, 2006. Just every single day would log into my parents' computer and I'd go straight to the Royal Caribbean website and watch and look for updates and new pictures of the Freedom of the Seas being built, because at the time it was the world's largest cruise ship, and by a long shot, which didn't hold that record very long. But it's really cool. That was actually my second time on Freedom of the Seas. So we sailed on her when she was brand new. That was actually my 10th ever cruise, and that was like a big 10th cruise celebration that my parents were really nice enough to take me on when I was a little kid. So that was, it's got a little bit of a sentimental piece to it. I always loved the Freedom of the Seas, and she looks great now. And ever since they did the refurb to it back in 2020, right before the shutdown, of course, but ever since they redid that ship, the ship looks amazing. And finally getting to sail on it and experience the ship looking and the way it did was really, really neat. But when we sailed on Freedom this time, this was a 3-night sailing from the port of Miami over to Coco Cay, and then we had a sea day this time. Usually the 3-night cruises have Nassau built in there as well, but every now and then, actually it seems like the last couple that we've done for the 3 nights have had sea days. I think the last 3, which were Liberty, Freedom, and then most recently on the Allure, we all skipped Nassau for those, which is kind of weird, but Nassau is one of those ports where I'm not going to miss it, but I do want to go back to it, and I'm excited to go back to it here in a couple months, just because they have completely redone the entire port area, so I do want to experience that. So yeah, it stinks that we missed Nassau a couple times, but no problem, not a big deal. As long as we go to Coco Cay, that's really all I care for, if we're being completely honest here. I had a lot of fun on that cruise. Justin and I went, of course, some of you guys know who Justin is. He's on this channel all the time. Him and I went for that 3-night sailing. Then the following month, it was another really cool ship spotting experience. We actually got one of the rare Costa cruises arriving here in Port Canaveral. That was really neat. Costa Deliziosa was docked at Terminal 3. That was really neat to see. And during sail away, actually storming pretty bad. Storming pretty bad during the sail away, but of course they still got it. And really neat, the picture and the thumbnail of that video, and I'll put it here like on the screen. But so that was a really fun ship spotting experience, getting to see that ship and getting really cool pictures of like the lightning strikes. Those weren't photoshopped, by the way. That was an actual picture that I got. I think it was maybe a screenshot of one of the video clips, but still, it was really neat. It was really cool. Luckily, the storm was way offshore, to where I wasn't like in any danger or anything like that. Not that I haven't gone ship spotting in big storms before, but it was really fun. It was really cool. Caleb and Tyler were there with us. Tyler over at the Cruise Junkie and Caleb at Cruise Ship Media on Instagram. The two of them actually went on the Allure with us, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But they went on the Allure with us as well, with me and Justin just a few months ago. Then shortly after that, we had our big cruise on Wonder of the Seas. That was probably my favorite ship ever. I love the Wonder of the Seas. Any Oasis class ship, honestly, I will love. When I say the Freedom got me into cruising and got me interested in cruising, it's not an understatement. It got me interested, and then the Oasis classes where like the obsession came in, and when I was like, okay, this is something that like I really want to like be involved in, and just I don't know, keep myself near like throughout my life, because like that was really cool for me as a kid, seeing the Oasis being built as well. So like the Oasis class really solidified my love and passion for cruising, which is really cool. So anytime I'm on an Oasis class, it's always just a really fun feeling. And the fact that I've done all the Freedom class, soon to be twice, once we do Liberty here in March, then pretty much next up is the Oasis class. I've only got Harmony to go on the Oasis class. I have Utopia booked, and we're going to be on one of her first sailings. I've been on all of the other ones except for Harmony. I've been on Oasis, Allure, Symphony, Wonder, soon to be Utopia, just not Harmony. So hopefully we can get on that eventually so I can complete the Oasis class like I have with the Freedom class. But the cruise on Wonder was really fun. That was with my parents and grandparents. That was a really good cruise. We did a 7-night Western Caribbean. Nope. We did a 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise, which we have not done in a while. The last couple of cruises have been Western. But we went to Coco Cay, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. St. Martin's always a really fun one for me. We usually do the America's Cup Regatta, which is like the racing yachts, like the big racing sailboats. We do that almost every time we go there. It's a really, really fun excursion. It's very labor intensive. So not really for everybody, but it is a really fun excursion. You're putting, swinging everything around, putting the sails up, things like that. It's really fun. It's really neat. We usually like to do that every time we go to St. Martin. St. Thomas was kind of a lazy day. We just walked around, did some shopping, and same with Coco Cay. We did the South Beach cabanas like we did on Symphony of the Seas last year in 2022. But this time we had a little bit better weather. On Symphony, it was a very gloomy day. It was pretty cold for the Bahamas. It was like 65, and very windy, which was crazy actually. It was very cold that day. But we had a great time. Just hung out really. Beach days for me, I'm more of a lazy beach person. I don't really go swimming a whole lot, or I usually don't go doing a whole lot on a beach day. I usually just kind of chill, relax, and hang out for the day. Some people are very adventurous on beach days, and some people are just lazy like me. But I had a good time, which is funny. So this is more like on the personal side of things. And so I really enjoy gaming as well. Gaming's another one of my big things that I love to do. And something I recently got into, actually. It's one of my COVID hobbies that I got into. I think everybody has a hobby that they got into during COVID. For me, it was gaming on the Nintendo Switch. So I know I've shown it in a couple of my videos already that I play my Switch. I bring it everywhere, and I'm not kidding. So one of my favorite games ever, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, had some DLC or like an expansion pass launch while I was on the Wonder of the Seas. And not that it like hindered anything on the cruise or anything like that. I still fully experienced the cruise and all that. But like at the end of the day, I remember in St. Thomas, I remember connecting to Wi-Fi so I could download it. And then this sounds super nerdy when I say this, but I remember sitting in St. Thomas, we were at a bar and got Wi-Fi, and I downloaded that expansion pass through the Wi-Fi as we were on shore. And I ended up playing that pretty much every night, and it was amazing. That was probably my favorite game ever. It was really cool. So it was like a funny little side thing. Like on that cruise, I was also doing a little bit of gaming at night. Whenever we were turning down for the night, I'd be transferring all my footage over onto the computer from all the cameras, and I'd usually just kind of pick up my Switch and start playing. So that was a funny little side thing. So that's actually what I did a little bit when I was in Coco Cay as well, as I played my Switch while I was hanging out in little lounge chairs inside of our little cabana hut that we had. But again, that's my nerdy side. So that after that, we made our way back to Port Canaveral. That was a really good 7-day cruise for us. And then it was kind of a slower summer. And honestly, 2023 was a bit of a slower year for me for cruising in general. When I say slower year, I did 3 cruises, which to some people is a lot. But seeing how in 2022 I did 6, going from 6 down to 3, kind of a bummer. But it wasn't too bad. I had a good time. I was actually supposed to go on Independence of the Seas as well. That one was booked for August and for my birthday, actually. And the person that I was booked with is, long story short with that one, I was booked to go with a significant person, and that significant person is no longer a significant person. So didn't want to go on that cruise, so we canceled that one, and that was that. So bummer that I had to cancel that cruise. I couldn't go on it solo, just because solo rates are always a little bit more expensive. But anyways, so skipped out on that Independence cruise, which is a little bit of a bummer, but no big deal, because we then had Allure of the Seas in November of 2023. That one was a great one. That one is the one that actually those vlogs just ended the other day. But we went with Justin, again, of course, and we went with Tyler and Caleb over at the Tyler Show and Cruise Ship Media, like I mentioned earlier. So the 4 of us, we are all 4 ship spotters here in Port Canaveral, so it was really cool, all 4 of us. Every now and then, all 4 of us will end up being at the port at the same time, but it was really cool to do all 4 of us on a cruise together, too. So I had a really, really good time on that ship. It was a lot of fun. A lot of good memories that we made on that ship. And I definitely would like to do another cruise with all of them sometime soon. 2024 is looking to be a really big year. We also had a big announcement of Star of the Seas is coming to Port Canaveral. Not only did we get the name of the ship, then a few weeks later we got the home port, Port Canaveral, Florida, taking the place of Wonder of the Seas. And Wonder of the Seas will be moving somewhere else in 2025 after the arrival of Star. Bummer that we're going to be missing out on Wonder of the Seas, but she's going to be ready and available here soon at a different home port. And then, of course, we're going to get Star of the Seas, which I am booked on. I am so excited for Star of the Seas. Not only am I booked on Icon for her first few sailings, or on one of her first few sailings, I'm also booked on Star for one of the first few sailings. Now, with a outlook to 2024, it's already going to be a very busy year, I could tell you that. In February, we have the Icon of the Seas. We're on the 4th ever sailing of Icon of the Seas in February of 2024. Followed shortly after, by about 3 weeks or so, we're going to be sailing on Liberty of the Seas a second time. That is, again, one of my favorite ships. Love the Freedom class. Sailing on her again. We got a great deal on that cruise. We're sailing on her for a 3-night cruise out of Fort Lauderdale like we did last year. We're going to have a couple months off between April and July. There's no cruises then, but right back in August, we're going to have the Utopia of the Seas, which will be brand new at the time. We're sailing on a 3-night sailing on her when she gets to Port Canaveral. One of the first few sailings for her as well. I think she comes out middle of July, late July, and then we're on mid-August. So that's going to be really fun and really cool. Following the Utopia, just a few weeks later, we're going to be on the Carnival Glory. This is actually going to be my 4th time on Carnival Glory. We're doing a 3-night sailing on her. A lot of short cruises coming up this year. We're going to have the Icon for the 7 days, and then the rest are going to be short cruises. These are just so convenient for me. But Carnival Glory, 3 nights to Bimini. Haven't been there before, but I know there's not a whole lot going on there, but I haven't been there yet, so it'll be really cool. And mostly just doing that because the Carnival Liberty, has been in Port Canaveral doing the 3-night sailings for so long that we're finally getting a new ship. So that's kind of our justification for doing that. Justin and I are going on the Carnival Glory because it's a new ship on that itinerary here for Port Canaveral. That's really the only reason we booked that. But it'll be a good time. Very much looking forward to that cruise. I love the Glory. Again, I've sailed on her 3 times. Once when she was brand new out of Port Canaveral, then another time out of Port Canaveral for 7 days, and then once out of Miami for 7 days back in 2013. And then now we'll be sailing on her in 2024 and 2025 out of Port Canaveral here. And then after that, the final cruise of 2024 will be Oasis of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale, doing another 3-night cruise on her. That is more of just a repositioning cruise or a rescheduling cruise, as she's going to be just coming over from Europe and getting onto a 6 and 8 night itinerary for the winter season out of Fort Lauderdale. It's just that she's going to be coming over midweek from Europe and then just doing a quick 3-night Thursday to Sunday to get her on schedule. So lots to look forward to next year, of course. 2023 has been a great adventure and a huge for this channel. Again, we've almost hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We almost did it, but I know we're going to hit that before we go on Icon of the Seas. So thank you all for hanging out for 2023. All the new people here for 2023, thank you for joining into the channel this year. And all of those who have been here for the past couple years, thank you guys for sticking around for so long. And much, much more content, a lot of great things coming up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. We'll see you next time.